Hi, so I was watching some of my previous videos, like two of them anyway, and there was something there that was bothering me. In one of my videos, I said at my last workplace that the guy I was working for basically was my mentor somehow, and that I respect him very much. I've thought some time about whether I should make this video or not. I tried having a YouTube channel for such a long time and I never really got to do it properly. I always come up with the reasons why not to do it. For example, the fact that I'm in a country where doing YouTube doesn't really come, I guess, with that much financial incentive, or that I simply don't have the time to do it. Or perhaps if I do it, it would be a bit of a waste of time, as it probably don't go anywhere. I've seen many YouTube videos, and I probably spend too much time on YouTube, where people simply just like to talk and tell stories about the beliefs and the way they see the world, or sometimes stories that happened to them in the past. And I thought, well, I'm pretty talkative and have things to say. I have a voice, as people say, so maybe I should share a bit of my experience with the 3 people who are going to see this video, and perhaps they're going to learn something from it. My accent is not the best, but I'll try to speak as clearly as possible and also keep it as brief as I can. This video will be about my last workplace as a programmer and what has happened there, because I was and am a little disappointed about how it went down. Not anymore really, as I have moved forward with my life quite a lot since then, and things have improved for the better. They have taken a turn for the better. So, but at the same time, I do like to share it, and probably I will talk about many other things in the future, even if there are very few people who watch this. Even if one person takes something from it, I think it's going to be worth it. At the same time, I think I'll get better at recording these as I move forward. So, who knows? I'll try to maybe make one of these once per week, and probably the quality will improve. So again, this video is going to be about how things ended at my last workplace. At the time I made that video, I think it was about 1 year and a few months until I left from there, or maybe even less than that. I'll have to check. But I was in a good place when it came to that workplace. So I started working there in around mid-spring. It was my first job as a programmer. I got it after only learning about programming for less than a year. After a time, I think the programming bubble, as they call it, from during COVID times, had burst. And it was in the city I am currently in, my home city, I guess. I managed to find it quite quickly, so that was nice. I guess I can talk about some things that were a bit off from the start, but being my first job, really, I didn't catch that as a red flag while going there to interview. And the first thing the guy tells me when I enter the room is basically after I present him some of the projects I did. Not impressive projects or anything. I had a little project in React, and one that I made basically for web development with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, the very basic stuff. He was not that impressed, I guess, but his first thing he said after that was that he just propped up ChatGPT at the time, and he showed me how he can create some very basic stuff in the framework that we were coding in. And he basically tried to convince me that in like a few years' time, AI will make every programmer obsolete, and that I better work hard now in order to create something to make a future for myself and live off that. In other words, what he was trying to do at the time was to make me believe, as I was young and inexperienced, that I should work very hard because such a doomsday of programming is coming. And by that he meant, well, of course, work very hard for him in order to well, I don't want to say exploit or anything like that, but in order so that he gains as much as possible from me without giving as much. It didn't work for him, I guess, because I work very hard wherever I work or whatever I'm doing. I really try to do it to the best of my abilities. I would have done that anyway. It was just a very strange thing to say, but the guy was like that. He was always talking about things without really having any knowledge about them really and how they work. So things were pretty alright for about 1 year, I guess. I did learn a lot there about what we were doing. I would have probably learned the same things or even better at other workplaces, but things were good. Things were good. I cannot really complain about that time. I got a raise very quickly, just because that's because I worked hard, but also at the same time because the salary I started with was very low, so it was expected that a raise would come. It did come after about 7 months, I believe, or 8 months, something like that, so not as quickly as you'd think, but it was quite substantial one, so it was alright. After that 1 year mark though, the guy started acting pretty strangely. So in this workplace were very few people. I'll try to limit the information about the workplace just because I don't want it to be identified in any way. I don't want anyone to find about it and go throw dirt at that guy. I'm not like that. This is not that type of shame video. It's just my experience, and I think it may relate with other people. I think things were rough for the boss at his home life, and he started acting pretty strangely. We had a very strange client as well, who was always making demands on every little thing and who liked to blame things on us, and by on us I mean on me, about the software tailor-made that we created for him. And this is web development, mind you. I was working as a full stack developer. Basically, I created that software from scratch exactly as that client wanted it, but the employees that the client had were very dumb. The software was as simplified as possible when it comes to user experience and user interface. But the people he hired they were simply incapable of doing even the most basic things ever. Anyway, that guy was making lots of demands, and that really pissed off the boss. He blamed me basically for everything. He always said that he cannot blame me ever in front of a client because that would look bad on him. So, because what would that say about him as the boss if he basically employed me? But that was just a facade. He always blamed me for everything that went wrong, I guess, or most of the time. Not really directly blaming me, like saying, oh, this is Stefanovski's fault. No, more like insinuating it, right? That started a very stressful period in my life, not only because of that, but that's when I started basically to feel a little strange mentally wise, I suppose. I started to not wanting to get out of the bed in the morning to go to work. When I came back from work, I felt extremely drained of energy. My girlfriend at the time could see it, and she would tell me about it, but because of my circumstances, I couldn't really give up on that job at the time. I tried to apply to others, but not really seriously. I got some interviews, but that didn't go anywhere. Anyway, I had to stay there I didn't really have to stay there, but I ended up staying there for another year, so about 2 years in total. After that spring, when he started acting weird, he kept on acting weirdly. In general, he would dismiss my work. He would try to force me to think in a certain way, going with the same mentality from the beginning, like trying to make me work as hard as possible for as little as possible. But not only that, the guy was pretty weird all around. He would like to push his ideas about life on me all the time, about politics, about all sorts of nonsense that really I didn't care about, to be honest. After some time, when I started to basically see through all this, and I'm an opinionated person, so I started to talk about this, the guy really didn't like that. Really didn't like that. He basically continued to be very rude towards me, not only blaming me for everything again, but that kept going, but also he started attacking my character, saying that in various ways, that basically the fact that I'm opinionated and the fact that I don't agree with him on certain things means that my character is trash, basically. And he tried to push that on me, which was particularly disgusting, because at the time, this is after 1 year and a half there, during autumn, at the time, a very tragic event happened in my life with one of my most beloved people in the world. And he knew that very well, and he still continues to act like that. He never was rude with a client, mind you. With a client, he was like a ship, like a yes sir man all the time. But he would be with me just because I didn't agree with him, because I got a little more of a strong personality. This idiot couldn't understand that, yes, I got a strong personality, but I'm also very good at what I do. and we could actually do many extraordinary things together if you just listen a bit and maybe change his ways, maybe use some new bloody technologies now and then. We're using very old technologies that weren't useful and that were actually hindering the work. The man didn't even use GitHub or anything like that. If you're a programmer, that's basically what everyone uses to save the code that they write and to save different versions of code and to see the history, like who did what and when. It's a very, very useful tool and it's free. The man didn't want to use it at all, just because he had some weird ideas about Microsoft or something like that. I may be wrong. I think Microsoft owns GitHub. Anyway, fast forward to January. This was about, 4 or 5 months or something like that before I quit. Some client did some stupid thing. He asked, there was some stupid bug in the code. That code base was a mess, man. And he again blamed me for that. The client was he wasn't doing anything urgent or anything like that, but he tried to reach me, and I think my phone was on silent mode or something. He couldn't reach me. I was on my lunch break anyway, by the way. He couldn't reach me, and then he called the boss who was on vacation at the time, and the boss came back to me and he was extremely angry about it. When he came back from vacation, of course I solved the issue very quickly. That was nothing. When he came back from vacation, he basically blamed me about everything. How dare I not solve the issue faster or better or something like that. When I pushed back saying basically, well, the issue got resolved pretty quickly. There was no need for a call to you because he couldn't reach me for like 20 minutes, which was during my lunch break anyway. He started saying stuff like, well, oh, you're not mature, you don't understand, this man, the client, he did something with his life, he's very wealthy and he's got some fancy position, a manager or something. He got that position because he was the nephew of someone who created the business, not because of his magnificent skills or anything. The client was very young, and many rude, many personal attacks like that, like attacking my character for being the way I am. After some time, I just couldn't take it anymore. About the 2 years mark, I quit. I didn't have any job lined up. I just decided to quit and I went on a vacation with my girlfriend at the time. But things are good now. Things are very good now. I work on on the apps that I want to do. I work on things I want to do. It's not so great when it comes to work nowadays. It's a bit hard to find work as a programmer. So that's not great. So I don't have much money or anything like that. But I at least spend my days doing what I like. And I'm sure at some point in the near future, something good would come along. It was like a toxic relationship. I think if you've ever been in like a romantic toxic relationship, and when you get out of it, you start seeing things in a more objective and clearer way, and you could immediately see, and you can observe, and you can now discern better. Well, when that person did that, then that was very shitty. Or when this person did this, well, that was extremely bad. It's sort of the same with the workplace. After you leave from there, only then you can see how much of an asshole someone can be, like truly, because you see it like now more objectively. And I really hate the idea of these older folks who try to make the younger one feel ashamed about their character or who they are, or to try to write the in their heads just for the gain. And I never was rude to this. I never insulted him in any way. I actually highly respected him all the time, and I was always respectful with him. I never did anything stupid at work, like shitty on mistakes, of course, but everyone makes mistakes. I'm sorry, if you're gonna get an employee and you think he's not going to make mistakes, well, that's not gonna happen, man. Oh, you think AI will do it? We'll do everything from now on. Yeah, sure. Let's see how that works. Doesn't look like it works to me. And to attack someone like that, particularly after having such a harsh thing that happened to them with one of my closest people, after going to like a traumatic event, it's particularly vomiting inducing. After I left that job, I only saw this guy like once. I saw him by chance. I still stayed respectful, of course, but honestly now I don't think I would be that respectful anymore. Again, I always worked hard I many times worked extra or when I shouldn't have. I took the blame for things I shouldn't have. I was always very polite and very accommodating, let's say. I stayed there partly because I was going through a hard period of my life and I wanted to stay there because it felt familiar, I guess. I wasn't ready for a big change. And of course, the change of a workplace is a big change, usually in someone's life. But in retrospect, I should have left after about 1 year, maybe 1 year and a few months after being employed there, because I did learn a lot, but there's also many stuff that I didn't learn, that I should have learned at that point in my programming journey, let's say. So if you take anything out of this, is that if you're at a workplace where your gut tells you, where you're trying to do everything right, and things still don't work out, not because you're not good at the work, but because someone doesn't like you, okay? Maybe a manager, maybe a superior of any way, shape or form, maybe someone like that usually, okay? If it's someone on your level when it comes to job position, don't really care. But if someone who's in a higher position simply doesn't like you, because there are many people like that, especially when it comes to programming. They are analytical people, and analytical people tend to be very harsh and very antisocial, most of them. Okay, the ones I've met anyway. If anything that you do doesn't seem to satisfy them, it's because it doesn't, and it will never satisfy them. And you have to choose yourself first, alright? Fuck these people, fuck them. It's a job. You should go there, you should feel fine. It shouldn't feel hard to do it. Hard from a mental standpoint. You shouldn't feel drained when waking up in the morning, especially that it's a job that people work very hard to even get. This takes lots of studying to get the job. It's after you get it, it's not over. You have to study programming, whatever the type of programming you do, whether it's mobile, web, God knows. You have to, if you want to be good at it or improve at it, you have to keep going at it and studying, and you're learning new things. I'm learning new things every single day. That's hard. Like most of the people on this planet do not want to do that. They want to have a simple, repetitive job that they can do, not stress about, get a paycheck and go home. But when choosing to be a programmer, you're very much taking the harder road, the less traveled road, which of course comes with many benefits. Not all the time though. Everyone expects programmers to be rich, where they are not all the time. It comes to benefits but it comes with many hardships, okay? So when you're doing your best work and you are really fine and you know in your gut that you're a okay person, you're a nice person, you're doing all you can, but people are still not satisfied there and they keep taking stupid decisions, and especially if they start attacking your character, man, run from there as fast as possible. They will drain you. And these people don't deserve to have employees. They don't deserve to have people under them in any way. They do by circumstance. They got some money from whatever, or they did something good at some point and they still get money off of that. Who knows? Most of them don't deserve it. They are assholes, okay? Don't stay there. That's especially true for people who are brought up well. My parents brought me up well to be nice with people and work well and be accommodating and whatever. And many are like that. I'm not the most accommodating by a long shot. Not anymore anyway. But a few years ago I was. I was much more than now. Now, usually, yes, be nice like that with people who deserve it, but not with people like that. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve to have anyone working from them. So don't stay there, okay? Recognize it for what it is. It's a sort of abuse. Recognize it for that. You know who you are. If you know who you are, and you know that you're working hard, and you know that you're doing well, and you know that you don't deserve this criticism and to be blamed for everything all the time, and it's tiring, and you feel a dread in the morning every time you have to go to work and open your desktop or laptop or whatever and start working because you have to interact with those people, then something is wrong. Do something about it. Speak up or accept it if you want, or leave, okay? Because it's not you. You are not the issue. You are not the problem. That man-child of 50 years old who's never learned basic maturity really, who has never really matured psychologically. That's the issue, but you cannot change that. You cannot change the people. People never change. People change only if they want to. Whatever you tell them, they won't change. A person must really want to change. You won't be able to change them. Don't bet on that ever. Again, you can speak up and maybe some other person from the management or whatever, wherever you're working, maybe they will do something about it. Or, but if saying something about it won't change anything or doesn't change anything, because many people can say, oh yeah, we'll do that. But then that's a sort of, let me get rid of you for now because I don't want to deal with you. If speaking up doesn't solve anything, either accept it if you can. Some people can, like block everything, I guess. I really respect that. Or leave. You won't starve, okay? You'll be fine. Okay, that's it from me. If you got more questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I don't really have any contact information around here. I'm guessing I'll try to do something like a Discord server or whatnot. I'm really not... I don't use social media. I use it very lightly, so I'll probably make a Discord server or something for whoever wants to talk about whatever they want to talk about, programming related or life related. Find out more about that. You can get in touch with me. That's it from me. I'll probably come with another video in about a week. Who knows? Let's see how this one does. Bye.